Here we are out for a cruise on this magnificent new 2016 Indian Springfield. What a magnificent bike this is.
When the news of the Indian Springfield first broke, it appeared that the bike was a variant of the existing naked Indian models, the Vintage and the Classic. The difference being that it was fitted with the hard bags from a Chieftain. But in looking more closely, it turned out that it's actually the fully dressed Chieftain without the fairing. The Chieftain has always been the best cornering of the Thunderstroke equipped Indians, and that's due to slightly different geometry. I've always assumed that the Chieftain was set up to accommodate the extra weight of the large fairing, power windscreens, stereo, speakers and instruments that are all mounted on its 48mm telescopic forks. Accordingly, it has steeper rake, 25 degrees compared to the Classic and the Vintage's 29 degrees, while the trail is 5mm less. The rake also means that the Chieftain's wheelbase is a couple of millimetres shorter, thus delivering a motorcycle that steered a little more quickly and felt like it had better cornering clearance than its stablemates. The Springfield has the same 25-degree rake as the Chieftain, but the triple trees have been revised to give it even less trail and a slightly longer wheelbase. But here's what I got wrong. What really blows the weight over the forks assumption out of the water is that the Chieftain tips the scales at 370 kilograms and the Springfield, somewhat surprisingly, is heavier at 371 kilograms. It appears that the big headlight and massive chrome nacelle, touring windscreen, light bar and driving lights add up to slightly more payload than the Chieftain's inclusions. But regardless of the mass, the result of all this geometric fettling is that the Springfield is the best handling and cornering incarnation of the new big block Indians so far, and its predecessors were already very capable.
Yeah, out here on the open road it really is very nice. It steers beautifully, it's extremely comfortable, and it's very well balanced. Just a delightful big touring rig really. Cornering clearance is also very good for a big girl.
The handling is only one aspect where this model has seen improvements. It was the most comfortable, felt the most refined, and had the sweetest gearbox of any of the numerous Thunderstrokes I've tested so far. Comfort-wise, the saddle seems a little plusher than previous models, and the handlebars feel different too. It was overall about as comfortable as I've been on a motorcycle.
I had the boys at Indian lift the handlebars for me when I picked the bike up, and what that's done is turned it into a extremely relaxed, extremely comfortable sit up at the dinner table type riding position. It's the sort of bike that you can spend all day on with the plush saddle, the extreme comfort levels, and roll away some pretty big distances in excellent comfort. The other thing that's got that actually helps with the comfort levels is these crash bars have been flattened out so that you can actually use them as like a highway peg, or even if you've got legs long enough you can.
The footboards are wide and the upper surface is slightly sprung to isolate the minimal vibration of the engine. They're also mounted high enough to give excellent cornering clearance and lean angle without compromising comfort.
Got excellent cornering clearance. I've been riding the thing 3 days through all sorts of conditions, backcountry, around town, suburban roundabouts like that, and I haven't actually touched the foot pegs on the ground once. It really is a beautiful motorcycle. The headlight's fantastic. Even the horn is big time. It's a bike that you just want to get on and ride, ride and ride.
It was an absolute pleasure to roll away long sessions on the freeways and toll roads, as well as getting amongst it on the foothills. The cruise control worked flawlessly out on the open roads too.
All you have to do really is engage the cruise control over here, set it to your desired speed, and then sit back and watch the countryside roll by in lounge chair comfort.
The overtaking power and hurry-up that comes from the Thunderstroke is also a torque lover's delight. It gets away from the lights so effortlessly that it sometimes took me aback to see how far back and how quickly the tin tops disappeared in the rearview mirrors when giving it a handful away from the traffic lights. It just seems to do it all so easily. Indian claim 138.9 Newton meters at 3000 RPM, and they are developed by a 111 cubic inch, 49 degree overhead valve pushrod V-twin with 2 valves per cylinder, hydraulic lifters, and a 9.5:1 compression ratio. The same engine is fitted to all models in the Thunderstroke family. So far, I haven't been able to find out exactly what Indian have done to the gearbox, or whatever they did, it sure worked. Not that they were cantankerous at all before this model, but the Springfield had a gearbox as good as any I've used on a large capacity motorcycle.
It's got a wonderful torquey engine that will cruise along here, chugging along quite happily in 5th, 6th gear at 50 to 60 kilometres an hour, and then still pull away quite happily.
Apart from the slight geometry changes, there aren't many other differences on the frame and chassis specification sheet between the Chieftain and the Springfield. The air adjustable preload on the rear monotube suspension is common to both, as are the cast 16.5 by 3.5 inch wheels front and rear. Dual floating disc front and single floating rear disc brakes pull the big units up just fine. They are genuine 2-finger fronts, and ABS is fitted as standard. The Springfield is very much a lust affair for me from the moment I first hopped on it. Over the course of the test, I put in some day rides and country runs that were simply outstanding. It worked brilliantly as a city and boulevard cruiser, relaxed, comfortable, unique, and I just felt good about myself every time I rode it.
Really nice features. It's got cruise control, it's got self-cancelling indicators, it's got central locking on the luggage. It's got good brakes, it's got the best gearbox of any of the new Indians. Really is just a peach.
More people engaged me on this bike than the other Indians I've been on too.
Is that the same as the Indian that broke the world record?
Nah, it's a bit faster.
And you find yourself saying over and over again, yes, they still make them. Yes, it is beautiful. Yes, your brother's Indian was probably built in the 1940s. It's a beautiful bike and has the sort of engagement that comes with a premium motorcycle.
Really is just a peach.